hairstyles to avoid for the round face shape and what to do instead. My face is pretty round. Because of that, my face always appears full. Even when I'm skinny, my face can still look chubby. If you have the round face shape, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The 5 hairstyles that I'm going to talk about today, I have tried all of them. None of them works. That's why I want to tell you to stay away from them so that you don't make the same mistakes. Number 1, short bob hair that ends right at your chin, like this. Well, this is obviously I'm wearing a wig, but I've actually had this haircut for several years before I grew it this long. The reason this doesn't work, it emphasizes the equal length and width. And that's exactly what makes a round face look full and round. Now, what makes it even worse is if you have this length short bob and you have a lot of volume on the sides, well, this is only going to expand your face horizontally and make a round face shape look even shorter. So what kind of bob actually works? You want to go longer. A medium length is ideal. You want your bob to be at least longer than your chin, and you can go as long as a shoulder length. The reason this is much more flattering is because it breaks up the natural 1-to-1 ratio of the round face shape. Because it adds length, that has a major slimming effect and make a round face look less full. And if you have naturally thick hair, you also want to make sure you layer your bob so that the sides will not be adding even more fullness to your face. If you are short, make sure you go to petitedressing.com and check out my clothing line for women 5'4" and under. Use code PETITE15 for 15% off your first order. The second thing that you should avoid is to part your hair right in the middle. For those of you who have been watching me for a while, you probably have noticed I've always had side parting. The reason is because whenever I do the middle parting, I immediately notice less volume for my hair. Now, when you have a round face shape, it's key that you need to add more volume on top of your head, not the opposite. But if you part right in the middle, you're not gonna have volume there because that's where the hair separates. So whenever you're parting on the side, one side of it is gonna have more volume than the other. Not only this is gonna add more length to your face, but also it creates a symmetry, which is another important factor to flatter a round face shape. Because it creates a diagonal line, that's what breaks up the natural 1-to-1 ratio of your face and therefore look more flattering on a round face. Next, let's talk about hairbands. Oh, hairbands are the trickiest part of having the round face shape, but it's also my favorite subject. First of all, the kind of hairbands that you want to stay away from, those cut straight across and completely covering your forehead. Here's the thing, you probably already noticed your face looks shorter, and that's what makes it look fuller and choppier. But why is that? Well, gee, didn't you just say that we have the same ratio for the length and the width? The reason is because we have shorter chins. Hello, shorter chin. And because of that, it's absolutely critical that you need to preserve the length of your face. And that's why you should never completely cover your forehead. Because most of the hairbands are designed to cover at least part of your forehead. And therefore they do somewhat shorten our face. That's the reason they're so tricky for us. And that's also why for years I've never had any hair fringe. That doesn't mean that it will never work. Of all the hair fringes I've tried, what works the most is the longer wispy hair fringe. This is like a face frame. Not only this is covering part of your face and therefore make it less wide, but also it's creating that vertical line. This is adding more length to our face and therefore it looks super flattering. You can go shorter than this and you can even do a straight across, but the key is to keep it wispy. You must make sure that you can still see your forehead even with your hair fringe. Next up on my avoid list, structured curls. Curls in general adds a lot of volume. But wait a second, Chi, who doesn't want volume for her hair? Of course we do, especially because we have round face. When our hair doesn't have volume, it looks like they're clinging to the face, making it even more obvious that your face is round and makes it look chubbier. But what you want is for volume to go on top of your head. You want lots of volume here. And you don't want excessive volume on sides of your cheeks, because this is only gonna make it look fuller and make your face look even chubbier. And that's what structured curls do. If you have naturally straight hair like me and you're using curling iron at home, the best is to go with loose curls or large waves. This will give you the same sexy, glamorous look without adding too much volume that goes on the sides and expand your face and make it look even chubbier. I also find side parting helps a lot when I am having curly or wavy hair, because this is on one side, it takes attention away from all that expensiveness of having curly hair on both sides of your cheeks. I know what you're thinking. Well, gee, what if my hair is naturally curly? In that case, layering is your best friend. You want to use layers to strategically reduce the volume on the side of your cheeks and lift your roots so that you can keep the volume on top of your head. And also very important, you want to keep it at longer length. The next hairstyle that you need to be very cautious about, pixie. This is me wearing a wig, but I've actually had very similar haircut like this. And I did not find it flattering, and I'm not gonna make that mistake again. The main reason that pixie cut can be very risky for round face shape is because they completely expose your jawlines, and a lot of them also cover most of your forehead. So if you're like me, your hair is naturally on the thin side. When you cut it to the pixie length, most likely they're gonna make your hair look like it lacks volume and therefore make your face look even chubbier. But that said, there are different types of pixie, so I don't want to make a blanket statement that none of them is ever gonna work. But pixies don't always have to be this short. There are newer style pixies that looks like a combination with bob hair because they're longer, and especially if you are born with naturally voluminous hair, so you have a lot of hair to work with, so volume is not an issue for you. And then if you combine the cut of the pixie with strategic layers, that can create a very flattering hairstyle even if you have the wrong face shape. We talked about hair fringe earlier, but there's so much more that I have not covered in this video. But I do actually have another video specifically about hairbands. Hairbands can play such a big role in our face shape, especially when you have the round face. Choosing the right hairbands is so important. But a lot of times, we don't even know if we should have hairbands to begin with. So watch this video. Should you wear hairbands or should you not? And what kind of hairbands is most suitable for the round face shape? I'll see you in this video.